What's cracking? What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Lucky Loco. Let me go ahead. I'm cruising a little bit. So let me get to a safer spot to be able to chop it up, man. Yeah, big shout out. As you can tell by the title of this live, man, there's a big shout out to everybody, man. Super happy about the way everything's going. Shadow Pit, my brother, what's going on, man? How's your Sunday, man? I'm just trying to find a spot to go park at real quick. Just out and about, just out here getting it, man. Am I working? That's one thing I'm about to drop right now. Two. Right now I'm not on the food truck. I had a. Let me see, man. Been super busy. Oh, okay. I'm just out here networking. That's one thing I want to make an announcement about too. About where I'm gonna be going. So just cruise over. Let me get to a nice lit up spot. I'm over here in Wapato, Washington, man. Got Brenda Love, Brenda Love, Brenda Love. Let's go ahead and take a look here. I just want to get to a nice safe spot over here. So take a look. All right, found a spot. Found a spot so I can. Let's see. That's a cool spot to park at. Let me see. Turn the sucker on. Let's see. 991,000. Nice. So let's go ahead and turn this back on. What's cracking? What's going on, everybody? So yeah, let me go ahead and get into it. I appreciate you guys tapping in. I'm at 992. Is that what you're saying? Brenda, what's going on? But yeah, shout out to everybody that's been supporting me. Like I said before, I'm not really looking to get into YouTube too much, but I will explain the reason why. I don't really have the time to do that because everybody knows that I'm in the food and beverage area. So let me go ahead and tell you what the plan is. I was gonna head out to California. I was gonna try to go out there and go flourish, but I'm flat broke. I am flat broke. Um, I keep breaking even in this area, so for over 4 years of hustling in the same area, I think I kind of burnt out my resources here. Like it's only so much in this area that you can hustle. So what I'm gonna do is what I've done is I went back to my old job. Man, and they were super happy to have me back. And all the smack I talked about it. Found out I don't have the same supervisor, and got another supervisor I used to work with. She worked her way from employee to supervisor, and that one I don't get along with got moved. Colorado Cars, salute. We got Sev Lokes up in here. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, man, I definitely like for you to check it out, man. Sev Lokes is a homeboy. Uh, I didn't get to meet him in prison, but we were in the same yard. My points just dropped, and I was able to go to a different prison yard. So I've seen Sev Lokes in there. We got the same homies in there. We got the same connections. Um, just never ran into like I seen him. I was on East Unit. I believe he was on West. So when he was out, I was locked down. I was coming back from work. I just remember seeing him, and he stuck out like a sore thumb because he was a Chicano Crip, and he definitely played. He's definitely with the business. He had fucking long ass braids. I was like, that's what stuck out. Looked over, homeboy was getting greeted by all the people I know that was there. Um, but yeah, okay. So, anyways, check out Sev Lokes right there. Oh, Kai Spirit, how's it going, man? How you doing? There's another Native American up in here. Uh, but yeah, check it out. I'm going back to the casino. I'm going back to the work at the West Unit. Yeah, I was in South. Yeah, I was in South. Yeah, so you're in East. You're on the east side of the west part. Yeah, I was in East Unit. So they let out East. They did switch it up. It'd be East comes out for a little bit. Then you go to Sale to say what's up to the homies. Pass stuff along. I don't know. It's Buena Vista. But yeah, that's the homie right there. So did you ever run into Walking Eagle? Man, I hope you see him, man. I was friends with his old lady on Facebook, and she unfriended me. I guess I don't know. I guess she thought since they broke up, then I would see pictures of their kid, and I guess I don't know. I guess I don't know what happened. I know she texted, and I didn't respond because I'm not too much into texting anybody's lady, like even if they broke up or whatnot. That's just not my style, bro. I know it was just a simple conversation. Wasn't saying she was trying to get at me, but I don't want anybody ever think say homeboy if they get back together and they go through the phone and see me fucking conversating with somebody. You know what I mean? I don't want them to think, hey, well, fucking Lucky was trying to get at my lady, and that's farthest from the truth, man. I just don't get down like that. If you're a homeboy's ex, I don't cross that line. I don't care how long it's been. Yeah, man, me too. That was a good homie, man. He was doing he was doing football numbers, bro, and he must have overturned his case because he got out. Because I know he allegedly shot a couple people, and yeah, he was. Me and him were cellies for a minute, bro, and he was explaining his culture and his way of the Native American way because we all went to Sweat Lodge, we all hung out, and I grew a bond with Walking Eagle. Man, he's a cool dude, man. Grew a bond with a lot of people in there, man. It was just like, when you're getting ready to leave, you get back that time. That's good, man. Because man, he had like 48 years, and I just remember praying for him because he was young. I mean, I know I was young when I was in there, but he was just it was like he was younger than me. That's all I know. He was younger than me. He was in there. Hey, Mando E, Native Pride. Wash day. I appreciate it, man. Native Pride and Brown Pride, Unity. That's our Southern cousins. They're indigenous too. Um, but yeah, I'm starting to work at the casino again. The main supervisor boss there, he was super happy to see me go in. They're doing on the spot hiring. I had an interview with Treetop, and it was kind of a bogus interview. You could tell the lady didn't like me right away. I'm outspoken. I don't know if you guys remember that. Diablo tapping in from Oak Park 916 Sacra. Saludos, lucky loco homegirls and homeboys. Show! Hear my voice crack? I haven't done that for a minute, so don't make fun of me. Oh man, appreciate you, Diablo. Um, but yeah, it was uh, it was cool to see them, and I did, like I said, they did an on-spot hiring for from last week at Wednesday. So I went in and I applied online, and then I went in, and then when I went in, I guess they tried calling me when I was in for an interview, and they were like, "Hey, you got an interview tomorrow, but since you're here, we must knock out the interview." So I go in there, do the interview, and they're like, "Oh man, what position you want?" What do they were fucking excited to have me back because I am a hard worker, man. Just as much as I hustle is what I do at work too. I'm like one of the most loyal people in there, bro. One of the most loyal homeboys that you're gonna meet. I don't care what goes down. Like even like I'm the type of person, if you leave your wallet, your purse, anything around me, bro, I'm not gonna gank you. I'm not gonna take shit from you. I'm not gonna. I just don't, man. I just don't see it, man. Especially people who trust you to come in their house, to get in their car. Oh, we got Strange. What's going on, Strange? I'm gonna drop the link. I'll have somebody jump in with me, man. Let me see. Let's see. Guest. Invite a guest. Copy link. Let's see. Oh, ho. Yeah. Man, you get my native spirit all worked up, man. Getting it all. Let's see who wants to jump on. Yep. Matakie, I say, for sure. All of my relations, man. Matakie, I say. And but yeah, there was looking. Let me see how goes it. Lucky, jump on there, Strange. Just cracking. If you guys haven't checked out Strange's stuff, man, really cool dude, man. He touches on a lot of subjects that are funny, serious, and he's just like me, just all over the place. I don't, just he's into skating, gets into a lot of stuff, man, and hilarious. He does these shorts that are just super hilarious, but then he also gets into subjects like dating. You know, there's a time when me and my lady broke up for a little bit, and I dreaded even trying to holler at anybody, man. These dating days are over, man. You just inbox a couple people and they want to, you know what I mean? They want to get, you know, it's man, you don't take people out on dates no more at all, man. It's all about hooking up and peace. It's fucking crazy, man. So, but yeah, I'm the page is starting to get blown up. So I gotta. There's a lot of people. Strange. I mean, not strange. Sebs, were you in there with Kenny too? The story I did on the Chomo's worst nightmare, man. He's an older dude. He was way older than us, but he was with the business, man. He was torturing. He was fucking kidding these Chomos, bro. He was like even just. I got a couple more stories I'm gonna do about that, man. Glad to hear you're on. I appreciate it, Mando. Um, but yeah, okay. So this is the game plan. I got my job back. I'm gonna work. I'm gonna instead of doing the food truck 4 or 5 times a week and just breaking even. Like I said, in this area, I think I've ran my numbers. I'm not making anything clearly to where I can hire somebody to where it helps me uplift stuff. So, and whenever I go for like a business loan or anything like that, and yeah, man, you got to be grinding and staying on top of your hustle for sure. So I'm not making anything to where I can hire somebody to help me, and that is it's crazy. So what I'm gonna do is work the full time work. Oh man, what's going on? Jump on the Conrad. Got the homie. Got the Colorado car up in here. All we need is Gangish. Who else is up in the Colorado? I mean Timmy. Yeah, man. So I'm gonna get the full time job and do part time food truck. So I'm gonna do the food instead of 4 or 5 times a week. I'm gonna drop it down to 3 times, or even 2 times a week. Because when you see me out there on the hustle, man, there's a lot of stuff you don't see behind the scenes of where I'm prepping for hours, good shopping, go and get all this stuff, because everything I get is fresh. That's the one thing about me, man, that you're gonna. Whenever you eat at, there's a big difference from when other people hustle to where I hustle. I don't get any frozen patties. I don't get anything like that. So what I'm gonna do, and like I said, like 3 times a week. And whenever I go for a business loan, whenever I go for any type of loan, they don't care that I knocked out fucking $200,000 last year. They want a steady source of income because I guess anything can happen. Like today, not today, but yesterday. No, it was like 3 days ago. My tire went flat, and this is old. You've seen how old the trailer is, man. So it's hard to find a tire that's going to fit that because it's so old. It's a 1974 Skyline. So with that, it's it sucks. It really does. So I went and got a couple, and the spare on the back is old. So what I went and did is I'm going to jack it up, take off the wheel, and take off the spare tire in the back, and get that one put on, and then get back into business because I go Tuesday for the orientation and all that fun stuff. But after that, it's going to take a little bit for me to start working. But bring back those Kenny War stories, fucking a. I got you, man. Yeah, I definitely got. There's not just Kenny. There's quite a few other ones that were, but Kenny was the most memorable one because I got to see part of it. So seeing about it and reading about it's one thing, but yeah, most definitely, I got a few stories about Kenny and his his blazing saddles of, man, torturing. And I've been trying to look for him on Facebook, Instagram. I don't know if he's on here. Tapping in with the homeboy from East Los Camp here on this homeboy Jeff, man. Jeff's on your taste the Pacific 15. Man, see, that's another thing too. Is I'm gonna revamp. Okay, so when you get burnt out, it kind of shows in your food, and it kind of shows in I'm always happy to be cooking, always happy. And and I shouldn't really complain that I'm only breaking even, because there's people out here that don't even get that opportunity. And everything I'm complaining about is everything I dreamed about 4 years ago, you know sitting in the position I'm in. But I know the situation I'm in and what I need to do. So if I got to put my business on the back burner and do SoCal in the house, but my people are actually from Chile. Hey, that's cool, man. My grandfather's from Chile. He's a Chilean too, bro. His last name's Miranda. Um, yeah, that's my grandpa. I love him. He's still around. Yeah, he's Chilean, bro. And my mom was dating this cool dude, man. He was Chilean too, and he used to. All right, check this out. He used to call my mom Bruja, Pinchi Bruja. My mom's mean, bro. She is mean as hell. So she always be like, he would always tell her Bruja. Like whenever he got mad at her, and she doesn't know. She was like me. She don't know a lick of Spanish, and and she said for years he was calling her that, and then my niece Abigail, she went out as Jeff. Man, that would be so dope. I Yeah. So she my niece went out as a witch, and he went up, he's like, oh, look at you, mija, you're going out as a bruja. And then she was like, my mom was like, she's like, is that what that means, what you've been calling me is witch? Oh man, he was a cool dude, man. He ended up getting deported back to Chile. See, Jeff Mija has a lot of resources. 100. There's Cali people actually from Chile. The map. Man, that's so cool, man. Yeah, because there's a lot of indigenous stuff that's going on, like especially you know the culture, the ways being colonized, and it's just being able to understand where you come from and knowing who you are, and nobody can take that from you. Once you find out your history and you find out what it is, even if you know part Native, because you see a lot of people that are just like a tiny bit of Native American, bro, and they wear that fucking prouder than most fucking full bloods on the reservation. They are super happy, super proud of it, and I see that a lot when it comes to the Native American culture, when it comes to the Mexican, the Chilean culture. Yeah, it's strange like that one. That one was fucking hilarious. I couldn't stop laughing. Is that what you've been calling Bruja? My mom is crazy when it comes to relationships. So yeah, she was mean. She's mean to the poor boy, man. That was crazy. But yeah, I'll come up with some more Kenny stories, and there's quite a few other ones too. Um, I didn't realize how much that Kenny was going on there. Push forward, home, and everything's gonna work out. Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, so that's a game plan. Let's get back to that. Shout out to everybody that's been subscribing, that tune in with me. So what I'm gonna do is just it's gonna take a little bit. Everything's not gonna happen overnight. Okay, so it's back to the basics. Everything I make at working at the casino, I'm gonna put it in a nest egg. I'm gonna put it away, and so everything I make on the food truck and those, because to give people a break, you know what I mean. This I cooked over the past 4 years of being in business in this area alone. That is a lot. I've cooked over 60,000 fry breads. Wow, Mendoza. Small broskies, do you know the beautiful hysterical my ancestors? They were the first to rise up against the conquistadors and eventually rolled them out. Nice. Man, that would, their technology and their fucking understanding of biological warfare and their way of life of just, straight savagery, like, just because everybody else says, hey, it's history and it's this and that. And, they're always talking about, like, hey, Native Americans um, were fighting each other and conquering other, but we didn't wipe them out. We didn't fucking wipe them out. We weren't torturing them. We weren't, uh, you know, s abusing them and taking their, making washing their mouth out with soap and just doing all these horrific things. And it's, these are documented tragedies. So I could only imagine, the stories of when they did hit southern Mexico, because like I said, they're indigenous, because they didn't have the last names of like Hernandez. They weren't speaking Spanish. That's why I trip out. Like I'll say again and again and again, I trip out how people are like, oh, you're speaking Spanish, go back to Mexico and all this other stuff. Is like, man, that lingua came from you. Like, it came from Europe, bro. That wasn't here. That's why it's so close to French and all this other stuff, man. And English was like frowned upon. Like, once you start reading into like the histories of like the wars and the conquering, and you know and we're still here, we're still through all this stuff, because you got to imagine these boarding schools stopped like my age 44 years ago. At my generation, the boarding school stopped, and there were so many. And like I said, I gotta have the person come on and talk about their experiences and the at the boarding schools, with the church, with the nuns, the priest were doing to the children. And this is just one story out of thousands of stories. Like, it gets swept under the rug. That's another thing why I wanted to start a channel, is have that voice, have that opinion. And we're so against one another. We're so against other nations. We're so against other tribes. Or, there's a lot of jealousy and stuff that goes through the native culture and the native people alone. And so when it comes to, I was thinking about that the other day, because how I met everybody on here, Shadow Pit, Strange, how I met all these, Rich DM, how I met Timo, Machete, met them through chat, super chatting through here. And it's going to be a touchy subject, but man, shout out to Gunner. Every single time when I came on, he was shouting out my business. He was shouting out, my location. He was really promoting your boy Lucky Local and his business. And this is, and that I am forever grateful to Gunner, to Rojo, to all these different places. And whenever I would see like Rich DM in a different chat, he was oh, look, hey, look, Lucky Locos in here in the chats, like, of different platforms. And he'd be like, hey, you got voted best burger in Yakima last year. And to a lot of the people, like, hey, look, the Indian tacos, the only positive thing Gunner did. Yeah, the truthful thing. Truthful thing. But where I'm going with this is, when I jumped on other Native American platforms and they're doing lives, I even fucking super chatted. I was like, hey, A&B Native American cuisine, if you come to Toppenish, Washington, this is where I'm located. And I kept like posting it, like posting on this other Native American platform. And instead of shouting me out, she was damn near ready to block me, and then say, "Oh, this guy's really promoting his business." Like, why not? I don't have the resources to be on a commercial running every fucking 30-second national worldwide. I don't have the resources for billboards. I'm poor. So everything comes from a friend liking your post and sharing it, people talking about it. Because some people had to be on Gunner's platform to fucking hear about it, because there was somebody that came from Modesto and drove all the way to the restaurant and came and got some food. And I have pictures with them on the business page. They came from Modesto, And it was weird. They were like talking like how he used to sas. He was like, yeah, you get your Indian tacos, you go do this, you do that, and he goes, and then the sas, you know, and it was like, man, that's a California slang, that sas, like the whole, just the way he was talking, you know what I mean? And it was just, I was thinking about that. There's one guy that tries to help, um, but he's more into, telling his story, which I watch all the time, and it's Lakota Bay and Navajo Man, and I talked to him, and it was it was like, man, like other Native American channels, which there's little next to none. Like whenever I try to jump on, that's why I'll watch every once in a while to support her. But when it came to like me trying to get on and be like, hey, look, I want to reach out to these other natives and get on and be like, hey, look, I want a restaurant, I want a food truck, I do catering. If you're out here, fucking hit me up and let's get into it. But I never got that from her, and I never got, like I said, Navajo Man, he did, but there's like other. It was hard to. It's hard to get support from other Native Americans. It's hard. Like, I appreciate the ones that do, because if you got them, you better keep them, because there's so much back talk. There's so much like gossip. Like even now, like on the reservation where I'm at, like there's so much gossip. There's a lady who talks smack on us about saying how we didn't financially help the missing and murdered Indigenous women movement, and she like really goes against us. Like I was like, hey, look, I'm gonna put this up to, do you want me to put your sister up on our wall and help? Let's see, Darwin, AK, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, they're super cool. Like he's super cool. When me and him were chatting it up on the thing, he was like, oh, you own a food truck, and you know, uh, just in the chats, and he was like, okay, I'll promote your business, and he's like, hey, if you guys out there in Yakima, you know, and that, the other, like I said, the other page, I was super chatting. I was, and it was $5, 5, $10. I was just like, hey, look here, if you can, kind of hint out, like, hey, man, help out another business, help out, a Native American business, uh, doing something good, especially when I had the restaurant, and it was, uh, it was just crazy. So I noticed more Rasa, more of the other channels. They really helped out. They've really looked out, because they appreciated. Most of the other people never heard of Indian tacos or fry bread. Let's see, East Los Champ 232, Lucky Loco, and the homegirls and the homeboys tapping in. Let me see. Let's take a look here. I missed a comment on here. Guerrilla Warfare. When you get a chance, bro, look at the General Cavallino. He's a real life Wolverine. After the conquistadors chopped off his hands, he tied two daggers and let out. I'm gonna screenshot that. I'm gonna check it out. Hold on. There you go. Screenshot that. Most definitely, man, because there's a lot of like, I'm super proud of who I am and super proud of my history, even through all the bullshit, man. Because even like sitting here, let me see, because even sitting here at this parking lot right here, there's a lot of native homelessness that goes on here, a lot of drug abuse, a lot of alcoholism, and a lot of that stems from the traumatic experiences of being on the res. They've having, some people, and no matter how much the system tries to make you feel ashamed of who you are, that not everybody's mentally strong, not everybody's capable of dealing with the traumatic experiences of being as abused and by priests and nuns. And these are people who are looked upon even in communities that are supposed to be the voice, the interpreter of Jesus Christ, the God, and all these other stuff. So, and they're out here doing these to children. Every Child Matters movement started. Kids, they're digging up bodies now, and it's people are starting to take recognition. People are starting to realize, hey, man, the missing and murdered Indigenous women movement is needs to be taken serious because they start attacking people that are over here in this parking lot, that are homeless, drug abused. I mean, it doesn't take much to try to get somebody in your car and you're like, hey, look, I got this. If you want to go drink or party, what are you gonna do? You're gonna get in, or they go after people that are selling themselves and be like, hey, get in the car. And when it comes to such rampant activity like that, anything's possible, man. Even the homeboy that tells his story too. He was talking about how the corrupt cops were even getting into it on his reservation, how they were getting into the sex trade and all this other stuff, man. It's a sick world, dude. And but yeah, this is the trauma that these people have to put up with. And like I said, my mother went through it and she was abused. She told me all about this. Like when I was like 4 or 5 years old, 6 years old, and she was telling me about. She was like, "Well, this is why so many people turn to drugs. This is why so many people turn to alcoholism, and this is why." And it was just, but she was also telling me these stories to tell me, hey, you got to be proud of who you are. You got to be proud of, don't let anybody ever tell you any different. And and it kind of reminds me of, like, when you watch where was that, The Water Boy. And she's like, they're the devil. That's exactly how my mom was when when you start hanging around quinitums. Quinitum in our language means a person in need. Would also translated because when they came sick off the boat, they were starving. They couldn't survive through the winter. They couldn't do anything like that. So they never had a name for white person. It was Quinitum, and it means a person in need. So when you seen somebody in need, oh, look, the Quinitum, and it helped him survive the summer, and the outcome comes the fake story of Thanksgiving. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, I celebrate Thanksgiving too. Um, I'm gonna get my grandma on Thanksgiving. I understand the history, the foulness about it, but then it's also about spending time with friends, loved ones, holidays. Just getting out there and spending these times, but just knowing where you're from and what it does. Let me scroll. Some natives here have speaking. Oh man, you ain't lying, man. I swear to God, like the strongest like nations for their language is like the Lakotas and definitely Navajos. They learn Dene before they learn English. That's why so many of them. Wasichu, yeah, Wasichu too. That's the Lakota Wasichu, person in need, and it's yeah, Wasichu. Um, it's and I'm not bashing nobody. History's history. I don't want anybody to feel just because that happened a long time ago that I'm speaking bad on their people and them. It has nothing to do with that. It's just awareness. I just want to bring awareness. I'm not sitting here saying, hey, hate these white people for what they've done, because even, you know, anybody with human decency knows wrong is wrong. I don't care what race you are. History is an ugly place, but look how we're progressing. Look at the community that we are now. Look at the nation we are now. We're educated. We're not looked upon and movie roles, like just like how, a lot of people got had to get out of that, Hollywood, how black people are portrayed, gangsters, thieves, drug dealers, all this other crazy stuff. Hollywood will portray these cultures, just like, you know, Mexicanos, drug cartels, and, just all these stereotypes that just a handful of people that are in the game, the people that are hustling and stealing, it doesn't round up a whole nation of people, you know. people will take that and run with it. Like any type of media, like back in the day, they were saying that we were savage heathens and they have no souls and they need to be saved and all this other crazy stuff, saying that Native Americans were this and they dehumanized us, like how they do the Palestinians too. Like anybody else that they feel that they need to go wipe out, take it, like how they're you know I was watching a Cat Williams thing about insurgents. He's like, man, motherfucker, I don't know motherfucking insurgents. So I can kill all them motherfuckers. And he was like, man, they're talking about people. They're talking about, kids, women, children. The media, they say only have so much. They have so much power. And for the people to be influenced by it, will run with it. But that's why I hardly watch news. I'll watch YouTube before I do anything else. Learn about people's history. If you get into the Mahi Hustle, he talks about the north side of Denver. He talks about the history, the culture, the separation, and the misinterpretation of people from NSM, UTAs, criminals, just all these different Vadios. They're not Norteños. They're a proud Denver Vadio, to where, you know, they got their own thing going. They don't have to ride the coattails of a California car, a Chicago car. Just they they're proud of being from Denver and will represent it. Is what this is. My homie Anthony Parker is an actor of the Home tribe. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. So it's that's the whole reason why I wanted to start the channel, man, because whenever I'd see Gunner or any other people talking about the Native American culture or the Native American politics of like people in prison, man, um, they kind of brush us off like we were like nothing. They even call it others, the others. That's how they categorize us in public too, is others. They're like, all right, um, we're warriors, bro. We're proud people, and we're we're not to be fucked with either. Like, I care less. When it's crunch time, it's crunch time. I'm not going to sit there and ball up because you're from a certain set or you're from this certain part of the group. If it's crunch time, it's crunch time. It's no, oh, well, this person's part of that. No, fuck that. If you come to cause harm to me or my people, my friends, or anybody, it's crunch time. It has to go down. Like, it's not, it's, and a lot of people, it's just like we're almost like kind of like sweep us under the rug, like we're not. And I don't want the respect of like prison yards and stuff like that. I'm just saying, when I was in there, I did not care where somebody was from or what was going on. If it was crunch time, it was time to go. And you know, as my hustle Conrad will tell you, it's time to lace up them boots. That's every single time. I know he knows what I'm talking about. And that that's a Colorado slang. It's time to lace up your boots. And a lot of it has when somebody's like, hey man, you get respect for throwing chingazos, and on the res, that's all we did. We'd party, fight each other. Choco, how you getting the part? How do you get the loco part of your name? The loco was just you know you can call me Native American me. The Native American Cholo. There you go. I'll change my name to Native American Cholo. As I got off the reservation, I started, you know, started hanging with the gente, started hanging with the raza, learning more Spanish, learning more about the norteño, sureño, the culture, the tortillas, the tacos. I just finished making a grip of tacos. I kill it in some Mexican food. Let me see. I have a lot of respect for the Native American brothers, and they're proud people and warriors for real. Thank you. I appreciate that. And that's where the the machismo comes from too. Is that a lot of people fail to understand is that Our Mexicanos, the Chileans, we're all warriors, bro. If we had more networking, if we had more ability of unifying, like the little bighorn, if we united like that, man, all these different nations that came together were um sick of having our families butchered, and that's what they would do. They would wait for the warriors to leave, and they would go while they were hunting, and then they'd show up to the camps and start getting elders, start killing the kids, the women, and be like, "Yeah, we did it." But once they started dealing with people like Crazy Horse, Sitting Bull, Geronimo, when they started getting all these people, Lucky Loco, salute to you for being a positive person. This Den, if you, man, I appreciate that, man. I just don't. I don't want that respect of my past of being in the prison yards or a gang member. I may talk about it but I don't relive it. I don't think I should have respect. I'm just bringing awareness to, hopefully somebody sees it and be like, "Man, I don't want that." I mean, a lot of these people in these channels, I know they don't want their kids growing up like them and being out in these streets, dealing with these politics, when you get backstabbed from your own homies, when people ain't sending packages, people ain't looking out, they're fucking boning on your lady. And, there's a lot of stuff that people don't like to admit and talk about, man. I don't want that. I don't want that type of energy out there. I don't want that. A lot of people think they still have to have that respect of who they used to be in the prison yards, in the streets. I don't, and if they're like that, man, that's why I don't watch certain channels that act like how they used to be. Like, I don't want that, man. I'm not walking around trying to fight people at 45 years old. You know what I mean? I'm showing you that, man, if I was able to do this years before any of all this bullshit that I've had to go through to get where I'm at now, man, I swear to God, I'd have like a chain, at least a chain of some type of restaurants and food trucks, a bigger movement, a bigger voice, a bigger chance. And right now, I'm just doing it so my kids can have something to go to, man. Man, look, talking about it, look, it comes through. Yeah, dude, your common cold. We didn't have the immune system for that, man. Common colds were killing Native Americans because we didn't have to deal with that. And they were calling us saying, "Hey, we're dirty natives," and all this other stuff. We were the ones who bathed. We didn't have to make perfumes and colognes to cover up the stench of being out. They never. It was like if they read their culture and seen how do you think the plague and all that started? They were pissing and shitting, throwing it out the window. The rats were getting into it. It was like unsanitary. We knew sanitation. We knew about, just all this other stuff that, we didn't. And our immune system is still off. We're not built for alcohol. We're not built for, all this other stuff. Like, our culture does not have that. There's certain cultures that have wine, they have the mezcal, they're able to handle that, but not Native Americans. I'll tell you straight up, just like the homeless people right here. I'll tell you straight up, they don't have it. How do I know? Because I'm a recovering alcoholic that's been sober for over 2 years now of alcohol, and marijuana has saved my life. Like, whenever I got the shakes, Fred is right. Really appreciate you pushing the positive energy on here, bro. I know I don't get much views, but I just refuse to try to expose people or, say stuff that I wouldn't, and if somebody like, if I run into somebody I dislike, I don't go out of my way to call them names or try to, no, depending on the situation, this big bad gangster dude here in town, you know, did me dirty. And when I caught him in person, I called him out, and he didn't want none. I didn't. Every time I seen him after that, I didn't keep. And I mean, it depends. Depends on the situation. I mean, if you're gonna, you know, tell lies and all this other stuff, then yeah, that's a different story. But I like the way Boxer does his channel, but then also, he will sneak diss somebody. You'll know who he's talking about, you know, but he doesn't make whole videos of, dissing somebody or, you know, the way he conducts and carries his page, and then he doesn't make a whole episode. I don't know. It's crazy, but I watch these channels and people like my lady would ask, like she's even texting right now, like, "Hey, where you at?" Um, just the whole channel of, I really dig stories of somebody. It's weird, like somebody who's been through the war. And no, let me break it down this way. Okay, now I got hired at this job, right? And they were taking my silence for ignorance. But everybody has a story to tell. Everybody has a story of college. Everybody has a story of vacation. Everybody has a story. Oh, I went to a wedding. I went through college and all this other stuff. Really normal stuff. Really, really nice, normal stuff. And it's just like, and they're like, how come you're so quiet? Like, what did you do? And then whenever I tell somebody my story, my background, I get looked at different. They're kind of like, oh shit. And they're like, man, this motherfucker got shot a few times. He flatlined like 12 times when he got shot. He's been through prison. He's been through prison, county jail, prison fights, whatever, So whenever I can relate to somebody else and talk about this type of stuff, I don't feel judged when I jump on, whenever I, chop it up with like Boxer, Sandman, you guys. Um, I just didn't feel judged, and that's something that's why I don't like talking at work. Like I don't like for any job that I had, I wouldn't bring up anything then. I'll eat lunch, mind my own business, stay out of the way. I'll go in the corner, go eat, avoid people because I don't want that judgment of people coming up and being like, hey, after you tell them a story, it kind of freaks people out sometimes, especially, squares 9 to 5. They just, it's not, I don't know. If you guys get the gist of what I'm saying, man, I'm not reliving, but I'm able to share stories because a lot of people do only have stories of prison. People only have stories of trauma. People only, and when you hear them, I'm not judging them. I'm not sitting here like, oh man, and a lot of them did miss the misconception of trying to get the youth, stir them a different way. It's almost like they were being braggadocious, like, oh, I was this, so you gotta fucking respect me for that. And a lot of these youth, and I'm gonna do a couple stories about that because I was, man, the presence of a male in a household, or even just being around kids that don't have a father. If you're an uncle that knows that they don't have kids, they don't have a father around, it, your influence that you have on these youth. Like, even just, I went over to my homeboy's cousin's house the other day, and there was a bunch of kids there, and there was like, it was like light to a moth. They were just coming over, and they're like, hey, thank you for helping, because I gave them a ride to go get groceries. And they're like, hey, thank you, we didn't have no food in the house, you're a nice guy, and you could tell they wanted like the attention. And when I went back to go drop off, they left something in my car, like a wallet or some shit. So I go drop it off the other day, and they were like, hey, look, there's that nice guy. You could tell they wanted like the attention, the affection, and they were just like, hey, look, there's a guy around, instead of just a bunch of women. The story shows how far we have come, for sure, man. And that's, I know drama sells and drama does all this stuff, but I'm not jumping in it. I've had enough drama in my life, had enough trauma and drama, had enough heartbreaks, had enough hurt feelings to where it's just like, I didn't like having my heart broken. I didn't like having being called names. I didn't like being teased because I was poor. I didn't like being teased because I didn't have a dad. I didn't like, just all this shit that you have to deal with when you're a kid, when you're growing up, being poor and only having a couple. Yeah, it's you know, and it's a crazy way of thinking too because I used to think like that of like people who stop banging. Like, oh, I remember people would tell me, and I'd look at them like, what do you mean used to? You're a fucking pussy, bro. And then now that I'm like that, I guess I'm a fucking pussy. I'm a chump. I'm this and that, and I'm a fucking piece of shit. That I don't bang no more. I never rolled it up and went to PC or nothing like that. And I guarantee you that. But you know, I just stopped. I fell in love with my son. When I got out of prison, I got full custody of him, and I'm trying to break the generational curse of prison. And he's on his way back to jail. He's banging, and you know, it's uh, it's an unfortunate situation. But I have plenty of other kids at the house, as you can tell, that are influenced by me, and they go to school and they do everything right in the category of the street dudes. They're nerds, but these same nerds that people would clown on, and I'm guilty of it too. Clown on, oh look, this motherfucker works at McDonald's, but look where that person's at now. All that time in prison, and that person's still working at the same job. He owns a house, he owns a car, he owns credit. He has all this stuff going for him because he worked his ass off to get where he's at. So need to get over this slump. Like you said, the influence that you have on these children, they're super, super looking for somebody to idolize, to have that protection in the house because growing up in a house of women, because I was raised by my mom, my aunts, my grandmothers. Um, so when homeboy was talking about Chilean, yeah, my grandfather's Chilean, but he's my step grandpa, but he's always been there. So I look to him for guidance. My uncles, and it's to get that male protection, that male ego, that male, stories. In retrospect, it takes a discipline to go to work and school consistently, but you need safety, security, a good head on your shoulders. Yeah, man. It's it's but like I said, just even just being there around those boys because they were one was like 11, one was like 14, and they were you could see like that spark in their eye when they'd be looking at you, be like, man, this is a good dude, this is a good person. And it was it was heartbreaking at times because those same kids can be influenced by the cousins that are out there banging, the cousins are out there using, and a lot of it's not even hustling no more, bro. I don't see any ballers. I see people that are just stuck on these blues, and you know and how long is your run of being a hustler? Been homeless as a child and never really had a good clothes and no father, and I think that's why I hustle like I do. I did 5 years for the love of money and selling drugs. Yeah, man. Yeah. So yeah, I used to get beat up for being poor. I remember I had these. They don't sell. I don't know if they sold them here, but in Canada, they had these shoes called Bullets. They were like plastic fucking runners that were. I remember they would talk. They would run out of tread right away, and I had like pants that didn't fit, dirty shirt, fucking whacked out hair. Hygiene wasn't up to par. Dirty, snotty nosed res kid, and and in the same and that type of stuff, it still sticks in your head because I remember this kid and his dad. I brought it up before. His mom and dad were drug dealers, And this kid had, basically everything he wanted, and he'd rub it in our face, like for all these different things and all. And I remember getting jumped by him. Him and his buddies, they would beat me up over being poor. That was my punishment for being poor, not knowing what the fuck. And then once, and the crazy thing is my mom made me go out and fight again. And I was scared, you know what I mean? Go out there and go fight again. And then she was just like, okay, well, you lost that fight, but he's not going to talk to you like that. And if he does, get a stick, get a rock, hit him over his fucking face, get him in his, and and sure enough, he tried talking to me slick again, and yeah, I did pick up uh, a stick, and I did chase him, and I did, it was just little things like that that stuck out. And like you said, I didn't want now that I'm a dad, I don't want my kids going through that. We don't have the most best shit, but they got clothes, they got shoes, they got protective, a protective dad and mom, and they got a safety blanket. Yeah, you're running the dope game, and then talk about like how people get, they say, jealousy, even on YouTube. People get jealous of other YouTubers and the likes, the shares, the amount of subscribers they got overnight. You can only imagine, people running the dope game and running a crew, and they see you come up and like, hey, look, I got new shoes, new car, got a whip, got gold. I'm doing it. And these motherfuckers, instead of calling the YouTube police on you, these motherfuckers working with the law enforcement and all this other. It's a dirty game, man. That's why I don't even like. I made money, but it took me away from my family, took me away from But to be honest, I'm one of the people that prison did save my life. I can admit that prison did save my life. It's seen because I seen people that were getting in there that were never ever getting out, man. And it was just like I just didn't want that. Like I didn't, not be with the woman again, and it just not want eat what I wanted to eat, not being able to travel if I wanted to travel, and just ugh, man, I'd have to say prison did save my life, bro. It did. Especially when you're locked down and you get those fucking nasty ass sack lunches they would give you on what was it? Was it Sundays? Conrad, was it Sundays? Because they would give us lunch in the room. I remember. I think it was. I think we get like the breakfast. Then we get sack lunches for lunch and dinner. I think they came and gave us sack lunches for lunch and dinner. I can't remember. Can't remember which one it was, but yeah, just getting all that. But yeah, and the stories I do tell, it's gonna be, you know, I like people really like that Kenny story. I don't know if you ran into him, Conrad, but it was Kenny Barlow. He was an older convict dude. Man, he was an animal, bro. He would torture these chomos like nothing. It was he told me stories of why he did it, so I'm gonna do story tell a few more stories about Kenny, and then get to the nitty gritty of what made Kenny that way. But let me see. Been on for almost an hour. Not long home when it comes to and then I remember you were on a live with Gangish, and you were talking about that too, just like you know talking about that way of life, and everything that has taught me, and following that life, and being in prison. I got PTSD from it, but it also gives me awareness and gives me safety, and also gives me like a lesson. I learned my lesson, not going back. No matter how hard times get, I'm never ever picking up a bag. I don't give a fuck. I'll be out here with the rest of these dudes panhandling before I ever pick up a bag and try making money again, because it's, man, that's a dirty life. It's a dirty game, and I can't do it. I got too many kids, and I got too much to lose. Before I didn't have shit to lose. So Let me see if you guys can see that. And I get, oh shit, what happened? Let's see. Okay. And I get stuff like this, if you can see it. Made from people like that. Will work, will work for fry bread. But yeah, that's the whole game plan. Just want to let everybody know I'm not giving up on the A and B. What I'm doing is I'm going to start saving up and start going places. Go hit Colorado. Go hit, you know what I mean? Get to the point where I, pay off what I can, like pay, just start getting ahead of the game. Like I said, everything I make at the job, I'm putting it up into the account. And everything I make off of the food truck when I do hustle 3 times a week, I'm gonna use that for bills, rent. I'm trying to remember, was it? Yeah, it was. Yeah, because I remember getting sack lunches. Give us fucking, god damn. Then that nasty ass pizza, that high school pizza they used to give us on there. And I think it was like every Wednesday. Was it every Wednesday or Thursday? They had the burger and fries. My fat ass, even though I dropped a shitload of weight, I couldn't stop eating the French fries. Like when we had them with the burgers, and going from county jail, they don't give you dinner rolls, bro. And I remember I was like, oh shit, get to DRDC. They're like, they gave us dinner. No, it wasn't DRDC. I think it might have been DRDC. But I remember seeing dinner rolls because I was going like right before Christmas. I got to, yeah, I got to DRDC during Christmas and going out and, went out to go eat at those long ass tables. And we got like a Christmas meal. And then we got to, let me see. Well, it was like off and on. I did some time, man. It was a lot of county, first it was like a lot of county time, like because of the alcohol abuse I was going through. I was putting myself through. I was homeless, drunk. And I'd fight. Like I was one of the fucking stupid natives that would get drunk and fight people. And so not too many people liked drinking with your boy Lucky Loco because not too long after I get buzzed comes the shit talking. Fucking punching people in their face, just the whole. I was an asshole, man. But yeah, I got to DRDC and and then I remember getting to the chow hall and I was like, oh shit, dinner rolls. I was like, damn, and I was all happy grabbing them and I was like, I was trying to give them away, and this dude already been there for a long time, and I was like, hey, look, here's some. I was like, you want my dinner rolls? And they're like, what? No way. And I started noticing nobody really ate the dinner rolls. I was like, all happy. The fighting will get you every man. It was, oh yeah, I was in and out. I was a fucking asshole, dude. You know, that's why when people like I've been a loser douchebag my whole life, man, and I was hurt, and I'd hurt other people, and I would, because I was suffering, I'd wanted other people to suffer. I have nobody else to blame for my actions and my misjudgments of people and the shit I've done. I have nobody else to blame, but I'm hoping that somebody catches on. Sodas in the chow hall was crazy. Remember, we get catfish one time. At the Centennial. Oh man, I Centennial. That's the Canyon City, right? Territorial. I think that's what it. I was getting mixed up. But the one thing I noticed going from Buena Vista, those nasty ass fucking powdered eggs we used to get or whatever the hell it was. Um, I got fried eggs over at that fucking at the when I was being transferred. Um, We had yeah, it blew my mind. It was toast, actual toast. It was actual toast and butter, and you get fucking. I think it was jelly, but it was like good, like good toast because you know how they give us that nasty ass bread that falls apart. Um, but yeah, it was toast, fried eggs, and hash browns. I was man, it was nuts. I was like, what the fuck, fried eggs? Like no, what? No way. Oh, the old CSP Canyon City complex. Oh dang. Ah, because my points dropped and I went to 4 Mile, bro, and it was crazy. My points dropped, and it's like it was sad to leave, but then I was like happy, but I was sad because there were so many people I met there that had all day, and it was like and people who know you came from fucking Buena Vista to 4 Mile. People like I didn't realize like how many people knew and like going from fighting for fucking weight piles and all this other stuff on the yard, because Buena Vista and only a couple other places had weight piles in there. And arguing over like, hey, I got the weight pile. You had to work out real quick within that 2 hours. I think there's 2 hours or an hour out in that fucking when you were able to go out. A vato named Fred. Man, when I got out, I got full custody of my son, bro. And I always knew I was gonna tell people I stopped banging when I got out of prison. I didn't want anybody thinking that's how you still have that pride. I fucking waited till I got out and told the homies, hey, look, I know how you guys feel about this, but I'm walking away. If you guys think I'm whatever, we can get it too or accept it, respect it. Some people to my face respected it, but I always knew a couple of them. There's still a couple of them that were like, oh fuck him, and I really don't care. You know what I mean? Oh, fucking little man right there. I got there and Nutty Rilla was there. Who else? There was like a lot of fucking Norteños from Grilly that were in there. A lot. There was a grip of people that were from Grilly that were there when I got there. And I got to 4 Mile, and they got the inside gym, and they got like two weight piles on the outside, and there was like no fighting. There was nobody working out. I was in Buena Vista with them. They ran. Oh, okay. Let me see. Oh, snap. What's going on? Tap in the morning. You know you're my boy. Could tapped in. What's going on? Bulldog and Little Man. When I was in Buena Vista was what the fuck's his name? He's from Pueblo, bro. What the hell is his name? He had the keys. What the hell's he's got like all day. He's got all day. What the hell? What is his name again? I can't remember. But man, what the fuck? I think that's the reason why I didn't get fucking like mopped in there too, is because it was um because he was from Pueblo. Kiko, that's his name. Kenyo waiting for you to fight Trap Records. I appreciate it, Kenyo. EBK to the day I die. That's another dude, man. I like watching his stuff, man. Upstate point of view, you know, it's like I said, whenever I watch these channels, I never feel judged. Like when you ever, okay, so let's get back to changing my life around. So I get out, I get full custody of my son. Um, and that's when I fell in love with life, man. As you can tell, I was talking about the trauma. I was talking about drama. and all this other stuff. And I fucking hated life, bro. I didn't want to live. I was suicidal. I was, um, I was illiterate. I had no other goal than to die. No other goal but to run into that grave as fast as I could by any type of like hails of bullets, stab wounds, or whatever it was that was gonna take me out, bro. Um, but I was too chicken shit to kill myself. So um, mine was when I met my son. Like he was born while I was in there, and when I met him and I got full custody of him, that's when I wanted to live. I wanted to provide. I wanted to be that person. I wanted to be that role model. I wanted to be that. I wanted to give him, um, or gave him everything I've never had. I gave him a stable living. I gave him a roof over his head. I gave him birthday parties. I gave him Christmas presents. Just all the stuff I've never had. He got. So yeah, Shorty. Yep. Yeah, David Carrillo. That's his name. Yep. 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 That's yeah, because yeah, David Carrillo. He I sh- I don't know if you want to do the story, but maybe I would, just whatever it might be. But yeah, he took out one of his homeboys. Well, he didn't. I think Shorty did. Yeah, David Carrillo. But yeah, I mean, Kiko became real close, man. And I think that's the only reason why I didn't get taken out of the yard or killed, bro, because of Kiko and Kiko and Chaos. Because me and Chaos became real close, and then it was just like, man, yeah. Because as you know, bro, as a northerner on the yard, bro, that's they will get you like quick. And but then also a lot of people from Pueblo, Colorado, knew who I was, and they tried taking me out of the unit, and I fought. I never checked in, especially with the last name Bob, bro. There's not You're not gonna run into Travis Bob, man. So you, it was it was like, man, I'm never checking in. I'm never, whatever. So when I get to, so I was always fighting. Like my knuckles are still like ravaged. Like county jail in Pueblo, you had to be about it, bro. You had to, you know. There was a lot of Southerners in there, and they knew who I was. I knew who they were. And after a while, you just become spade partners after a good chingazo. You know what I mean? Heart check. Like I said, a nice little fight never hurt anybody. Even if you do get your ass kicked, it's just like nobody's ever gonna go around saying, "Hey, I checked him in, I made him roll it up." Um, and as a kid, like I was saying before, and I was telling a Vato named Fred, yeah, I was really, really depressed. I was really dealing with a lot of trauma, and I drank a lot. Man, a lot. So it was when you face when you face your fears every day. When you face your fears every day, locked up in sentinels to a 30-year bid. Damn. So when you face your fears and you face your traumas and you get over the embarrassment that you were treated that way, that you were oh no shit, you're tall like that. Dang. I remember you're saying that you were like 6'2". I was like, holy fuck, dude. Me you're six something. I'm fucking 5'9". Little stocky. I mean, I was fucking, as you know, when you work out a lot in there, I already knew. So I was fucking strong as shit in there. I got 2 years added on to my sentence for beating up Kiko's homeboy in there. Um, it was in county jail, bro. He shot at me on the streets, and I didn't call the cops. They were shooting my house. Um, I fixed the windows. I covered up the bullet holes in the house, in the hallway. They came in trying to rob me, and I remember his face. So, come count time, and I woke up, and I already been like I said, as I was just saying, you got to fight a lot in there. So, come count time, I got up and I looked over, and I felt somebody look at me. So I looked over at him, and he looked at me, and he was like, "Oh shit!" And as soon as that guard walked in here, walked out after count, I went in that room. I didn't even say nothing. I just started lighting dude up. Yeah, I started lighting that dude up, and it was just like, yeah, because I went in there. Okay, so I went into prison at 285 pounds because I remember weighing myself when I got there. I was 285 years. But no, I'll tell you what happened for that fucking why I got that 2 years. Okay, so I went in there 285, and then I dropped down to like 195, and then they're like, "Man, you're losing more weight," and I was like, "Man, I got to be at like around what 180 maybe, or 180." And when weighed myself, I was at 245 of like fucking like bulked up muscle, and they're like, and I got all pissed off and went, "Dude, I thought you said I was losing weight. I'm at fucking 245, bro." And he was like, "No, you're muscle now, bro. You're not fat." And I was just like, "Oh, okay." I didn't know the concept of that, but yeah, it was I went in his cell, and I didn't even say nothing. I remember the first punch I gave him, rocked him to his. I split him open with the first punch, and then I was just left. I was getting him. I was lighting this dude up. He meant like almost every corner in that cell. I was beating the shit out of him. There was blood all over the place. He was like, yeah, it looked really bad in that cell. I thought I killed him. And so I get up, and I told him, there's a shower over there. I said, he's all screaming, crying. Um, I told him, I grabbed him like a kid. I grabbed him and I was like, there's that fucking, I was like, there's that shower. Go take a shower, clean yourself up. And he was staggering over and started banging on the door. And the guard came up and he was like, "What? What do you want? What do you fuck do you want?" And he banging again. He goes, "I'm gonna lock you." And he's seen his whole like, he was bad. I fucking pieced this dude up. Dude was shooting at me. Dude tried taking me out. So, my whole anger. So, dude goes in and he's got like fucking cauliflower ears, bleeding out of his nose, mouth, face. His brain swelled up. He fucking collapsed, shit and pissed his pants. And then they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna charge him." They were trying to tell me I killed him. He was like, "Yeah, he did." Um, like, and then so I get it. So I beat the shit out of this dude. He started pissing and shitting all over the place, and the girls are walking past because it was up on fifth floor, and they were going to the gyms. The girls are walking past, and they're like, "Oh my god, look, what the hell?" And they're like laughing at him because he was like shaking on the ground, and they're like, "Oh fuck, he's pissing on himself and shitting." And so they're laughing at him, and then guards came in, arrested me, and then they're like, they took me downstairs, and they were, "Oh, what happened?" And I was like, lawyer. Like anytime you're in trouble, lawyer, just fucking lawyer, bro. Like, well, go hope your lawyer beats a murder case because you just killed that guy. And I was like, lawyer. And I wasn't sitting, I was just sitting. I was like, dang, I just really scared the shit out of me. I thought I did. And I was like already on my way to prison, so I was just like, all right, whatever. And so he came to the because the preliminary hearing and all this other stuff. He came to the thing after when he got out. It was like a month later. He was still knotted up, like pretty good. And he came to court, and I was like, oh, this motherfucker came to testify against me. He's supposed to be a big bad gangbanger. What the fuck was his name again? I don't know. I'll look for it, but he did tell on me, and then like, all right, well, 2 years added to your sentence, your 12 year, no, it was a 10-year sentence. So I ended up getting like 12 years. And then it was, yeah, it was crazy, dude. So as I'm in Buena Vista all this time, what the fuck was his name again? Because I didn't even know his name until he fucking told on me. Um, but yeah, I get to prison. I'm in there, and I tell the story about running into people I run into, and then I see I'm coming in the chow hall. Damn, bro, it's only five. Holy shit, 100. That's me fit. 189. Dang, you got all chunked up, strictly. Let's see, Lucky Local. Bean Lokes is live right now. He said, "All right, Diablo, tell Bean Loke." I said, "What's up?" I just want to jump on, man. I wanted to. Man, I'm almost at 1,000. I never thought I'd get 2,000, man. But a lot of people really like that Kenny stories, so I got plenty. I got quite a few of them. But yeah, I see dude and as they're coming in for lunch. I see dude, and I was like, what the fuck was his name again? I'll remember it after the live watch. I bet. All right, so I'm fucking. I come walking in, and he's sitting with the Sereno dudes. And I went up and I was like, "Oh, hey, what the hell was his name?" I was like, "Hey, is your name so and so?" He's used to the fat Lucky like I am now, but I was like yoked up or lost a lot of weight, so I was like, he didn't really recognize me at first, and then he's like, "Yeah, what's up, Bissy?" And I was like, you don't remember me, homie, over there on Fifth Unit? My name's Travis Ball, bro. What's cracking?" And then he was like, he looked at me, his face is all white, and I talked to his shot caller. I was like, "Hey, man, I don't have and then you can get yourself hurt really bad if you don't got the paperwork." I was like, "I don't have the paperwork on me, but I'm telling you, I've never not going to lie about it." I said, "But your homeboy's no good." And I said, "I want to go smash him." And he was like, "All right, bet." He goes, "Yeah, let me go over there and tell him that you're going to come over there and smash him." And this is Kiko's homeboy, and he goes over and sits down, and you can see he's talking. He points over at me, and then he gives me the nod like yes, and I get up and go walking over there, and homeboy just jumps up and goes around where the cops are at and where they're feeding. Uh, um, Conrad knows what I'm talking about when you go in the chow hall when you come walking through, and then there's a part you can go like around the side and go behind where everybody's working at, or they have the the bars locked off to the kitchen so you can't get back into the kitchen. And then he goes walking back there and he's like, "What are you doing back here? Get out of here. Go. You're not allowed back here." And he's like, "If you don't get out of here, we're going to lock you up." He's like, "All right," and you can hear, "Oh, I can't go back out there." I can't go back out there. So he cuffs him up and walk him out. And Kiko was pissed about it because he heard about it. He was like, "Hey, my homie's coming to the unit. He's coming in." He was like, "You're gonna um." He's like, "He's coming to the unit. He's gonna be here. He's one of my little homies." And man, he went from the A&O. He made it to A&O, and then he never came back. Oh man, yeah. So that was my run-in with what the fuck was his name? It's really bothering me now. So man, yeah. So homeboy he dipped out, and yeah, Kiko was pretty pissed about that. And everyone was like, "Man, is that how you're gonna do? You're gonna check him in front of all of his homeboy?" I thought I was gonna get fucking mopped and rocked and jumped. After that, I had to. I had, homeboy. Yeah. Can I get my check? Oh, everyone's like confused because they see me come walking over radio. Man, I was getting ready to fucking Jackie Chan his ass again. Oh man, what was it? It was man. because man, it was crazy. It was like I don't know, it was nuts. But yeah, so I'll come up with some more stories, man. We should jump on a live together sometime, man. Set up something to where we all these Colorado homies get together and chop it up because I it's cool when I see you and Gangish and everybody on there too. You know, get on there, get something cracking, man. Jackie Chan. Hey, man, you know how everybody has like an alter ego, man. Mine was definitely Jackie Chan, bro, with his fighting. I couldn't fight like him, but in my mind I could. I was like, whoa, yeah, it definitely is. The only shots I call now is bedtime for my kids. You know what I mean? It's the only shots I call now. There's no more nothing. So my lady's blowing up the phone. Where are you? I'm over here chopping it up with the homies on YouTube, man. If you don't believe me, jump on. She follows me on YouTube. She should be on here. Oh man, yeah, that was some crazy times, man. Some crazy chingasos. You know, when I tried to make it across the Canadian border, I got into some squabbles here too at the Whatcom County Jail in Washington State, and the homeboy was from Denver too. Bro, I get to think Tony Hawk. But yeah, you said I'm the Dollar Tree where I see you, man. I tried to be a skater when I was a little kid. Broke my collarbone. Was like, yep, my skating career. And that was another person I used to look up to too. Was Tony Hawk. Powell Peralta fucking skateboards and shit, man. I used to wear the Vans, the cargo shorts, the fucking Metallica T-shirt. My hair the way it is now, kind of long. I was out there getting it, bro. Little 9, 10 year old with that rocking. But yeah, Jackie Chan his ass, man. I would fucking man, the bad old days. But it's I try to tell my son, be like, man, just because I survived that part, man, doesn't mean that you can. He's on his way to the well, as soon as he gets caught, he's on his way to the joint for a little bit. And, oh man, all I could do is pray for him and love him, and hopefully he gets his life together. And you know, I really changed my life to protect him, to give him the life I've never had. So if you ever see me out here with my kids, man, just know that I'm out here living my best life, man. I'm out here um, giving them everything I've never had: uh, a safety net, a comfort place, a place to call home, a place to feel warmth, to feel loved, to be taken care of, uh, problem solving. And the thing is my kids don't get spanked. You know, they don't get mental abuse. Mental abuse is way worse than physical abuse, bro, because that shit sticks with you forever. So your words are very powerful, and your words do mean a lot to people, whether they like to admit it or not. Nobody likes to be. What do you think about the ACP? Oh man, I want to do a story on that. I think that fucking dynamics, the fucking duel that they have, they were just on point, back and forth, back and forth. Like, don't get me wrong, Flacco's a fucking, he's dope at his stories, but when you got two people that are from the same cloth, from the same shit, they know the same people, and they chop it up. Just like when Boxer and Handicap Jerry, or what was it, Jerry? Those two were awesome. I know Flacco and Toko was good too, but cream of the crop, bro. And you know, there's I'm really happy that They patched it up. Get over the egos. I know a lot of us started turning on one another, even just as people who watched the show started turning on each other. Like they had that one guy jumping on saying we ain't gonna bust grapes and we're a bunch of punks and net banging on. When we're over here trying to watch Crusted Show and talking all this stuff, I'm like, dude, you're fucking how old? Like, how are you gonna act like that? Like, who cares? Who watches Flacco? Who watches all this stuff? It's just like it like split apart and it got really weird and it wasn't fun no more. But yeah. They were. Oh my god, dude. They really and that would have been some crazy chingas right there because both them boys are big too. You know what I mean? Yeah. But you know, that's why like even when it comes to content creators, like man, I dig Flacco, but once he started going crazy and stuff like that, that's when I was kind of stepped away. It was just like, all right. But like anybody, like, when they started getting crazy, it was like, before everybody was turning on Gunner, he started like, taking shots at me. I was like, what the fuck did I do, bro? I just watch other people's channels. I never spoke bad of you and still won't. You know what I mean? It was just like, what did I do? I'm just Lucky Loco fucking comments. You know what I mean? Yeah, it sucked, dude. It really did. Like it was like split up into different like YouTube gangs and you know, but I always treat people the way they treat me. You know what I mean? And and when you see other content creators making videos on them like OG, Triple OG, Chemo Flicks, they're a source of entertainment and people. I don't know how they felt about me putting a great video or funny video because Chemo Flicks and Triple OG, they'll if you piss him off. And the crazy thing is with Chemo Flicks, he don't even have to. He doesn't show his face. He doesn't say a word. He just puts. He will replay their video and say why. He's a genius, bro. I love Chemo Flicks. Like even with the video he made on me, and his content is he doesn't like put hot tapatio or whatever on it. He will put their own video up, and add like a little stuff. Like I show my little kids. I was like, hey, come look, Chemoflix made a video on me, and it goes, I talked to Sonny on his live, and he swears AC has the biggest troll army, not Gunner. Yeah, it sucks. I mean, if people are down to do like that and tear down other channels, I'm not for that. I'm not here to talk shit on nobody, bro. Um, But yeah, Chemoflix, he made the video on me. He was like Skinwalker, and because I was under a sign that made it look like I had like huge legs. It's hilarious. I showed my kids and they couldn't stop laughing. Then it got into like the whole Gunner video where he's like, we get on our knees and punch each other, and it showed those fucking wrestlers beating the shit out of each other in the face, and my kids couldn't stop laughing. They're like, oh, one's 6 and one's 8, no 9. One's 6 and one's 9, and they couldn't stop laughing. It was hilarious. It was cool, man. Shit. Well, I better go home. My lady keeps calling, but I appreciate you guys for tapping in, man. And Strange, inbox me if you're down to get chop it up on a live sometime, man. I'll definitely Fred named Vato named Fred. I appreciate you, Strange. Mile High. Let me see. And all the other ones tapped in today, man. I really appreciate you guys, man. Make sure you hit that like, help me get in algorithms. I really appreciate it, man. And I'll definitely do more stories about it and more stories of the reason why I refuse to cause anybody like mental pain. I'm not here to hurt anybody's feelings, bro. I just want explain my story, explain the Native American culture, and explain the similarities of the gente, the raza, the Mexicans, the Chileans, the all these other indigenous tribes, the Puerto Ricans, Latin Pain, all these other people that we are indigenous people and we are proud people. And we got a lot of similarities before differences, bro. I know there's a lot of racism that runs deep in both cultures. Some people don't like Indios. Some people don't, and they have their misconception of, drunk Indian, all this other stuff. And I'm here to break those stereotypes, man, and let you know that we're out here, man. And I definitely want to get everything going, man. I appreciate you guys. Have a great night. My lady's calling again. Chingo. Watch my live. Jump on. Come chop it up. All right. Much love and respect, you guys. I better answer this call before I end up in the doghouse.